I know that when we first got here, there was a lot of feeling of just being grateful.
For sure. And then life hit. We're going to talk about our first year of grad school.
Okay.
What happened? What happened? Where are we now? What would we tell ourselves if we could go back? Hello, beautiful people. What's up? I am here with one of my dearest friends. This is my friend Amber. She is a fourth-year Ph.D. in anthropology, also in the Africana Studies department. So do you want to talk a little bit about your dissertation research?
Sure. So my research is in post-conflict tourism. I look at the ways that countries recovering from violence, war, and conflict rebrand themselves for tourism, and specifically how that changes the histories that they project to the rest of the world. The country that I work in is Colombia.
Me and Amber have a very unique history together. So Amber and we started together, right?
Yes, we did. We had a completely serendipitous meeting.
We did.
And we've been together since the beginning.
Yes, we have. It's so crazy. We met each other during the visit day, and then we became roommates, and we have been friends ever since. So we are fourth years. We're both going to be defending our dissertation proposals this year, and we're both going to start our fieldwork this year. So we thought we should sit down and make a video together, but what is the best kind of video we can make? Kind of a what we wish we knew in graduate school video.
Right, so this video is prompted in part by the fact that our first year, we took our laptops and in our dining room, because we lived together, we just made a video documenting how we felt.
Yeah. You can see us 3 years ago, up here, or up here, over here, or here somewhere.
Hello!
I guess we're making this video for ourselves.
Yes, we are.
So, what happened this year?
Hey, so.
Hey, Amber.
First of all, I must say your lip gloss is popping.
My lip gloss is cool. Your lip gloss is cool.
Thank you.
All the boys be watching.
I'm not sure they are, actually.
Cool and beans. We were just over the moon. We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And so we thought that we could sit down together and have a little chat.
And share it all with you. For those of you who are thinking about entering PhD programs, who have just entered, this isn't a spoiler alert. It's not a turn back now.
No.
I know.
Don't turn back.
Don't turn back.
So we're just going to have a little conversation about some things that we came up with, things we wish we knew before we started graduate school.
Yes.
So one of the first things that I wanted to talk about was just the transition. Some people are going to be coming straight out of undergrad. Some people have taken time off. We both took a couple of years off between undergrad and graduate school. And so in some ways it can be more challenging because you've been out of the academic mindset for a while, right? And in some ways it can be, easier because maybe you're more committed, more focused, you've taken the break that you needed, right? Regardless, one of the biggest struggles that I had was coming to terms with the fact that some of the things, the skill sets that I had in undergrad, they don't translate. So procrastination, waiting just a couple of days before to do a paper, not doing the readings. Going
to bed and waking up at 3 a.m. to wake up and finish the paper the day that it's due.
Right. So here's the deal. PhD, or maybe you're going to law school, or maybe you're going to med school, vet school, dentistry, whatever kind of graduate program, higher ed, something like that, it's going to look a little bit different, but I do think that one of the hallmarks of a doctoral program is the rigor in which you're supposed to apply yourself in actually reading and understanding and challenging the pre-existing knowledge base and texts that are already out there. And so I think one of the things I wish I knew was that when you don't do the work to the best of your ability, so procrastinating, doing a paper last minute, not doing the readings, you're actually hurting yourself as an academic. And it isn't like about elitism or snobbery or people aren't smart enough. It's you feel more confident when you know more.
Mm-hmm.
You feel more confident when you've written more. You feel more confident when you know you're putting forward your best foot. And as you continue on with each year of the program, it's great when you've built this body of knowledge. But if you make it to the end of your year and you've done just what you can do to survive, you don't feel as good and you don't feel as confident because you feel like you've just been like skating by. So one of the things I really wish I knew was get into a habit now of being disciplined about reading and writing, and understand that reading a book per week per class is typical and normal. Writing 20 to 30 page papers for every single class instead of doing homework is normal, and embrace that rather than trying to run from it.
So I'd say that one thing that I wish I knew around that is to try to delve into every reading, at least by skimming it or at some level. There are pieces that I didn't read at its entirety during the first year,
for sure.
or by the end of the first year I felt like, oh wow, I need to go back and read some of those things because I hadn't really engaged with them deeply. So try to make sure that you're at least engaging with the pieces on some level so that as the classmates are talking about them, you can have something in your mind that you've taken out of it. Because it's easy to feel like you can't get to everything,
Of course.
but to not let yourself at least try to get
Yeah.
into it because you feel like it's too much is just, it's taking away a bookmark or a reference point that you wouldn't have later because you never tried to establish a relationship with the text.
It's you want to get to a place where you feel comfortable that you have expertise, and it takes a lot of work to get to that point, but it's okay to be unsure because someone wrote in a really good article, think of academia as a conversation. I love the way that she put that, because if you think of it as a conversation as opposed to binary, black, white, right, wrong, I'm right and I'm going to say this perfectly right so that I can, be the class favorite or something like that. You carry an undue, very heavy burden that's just going to weigh you down because nobody is right all the time. And that's okay.
One of the professors who I really admire at this university said that the PhD, the books we write, the articles we publish, it's really just to let us know who to listen to. So if we think about everything as a conversation, the degree is in a way just a little signpost to let people know to listen to you. So part of what we're doing in this program is gathering the things that we have to say because people will listen to you once you have this degree.
That's so true. So getting into the mindset, that is something we both wish that we Do we have any funny stories about that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what. In my first year, I took classic sociological theory. So it was an exercise in torture because at the end of every single class, so we would read at least a book every week. At the end of every 3-hour class, we would take an hour and every person in the room would go around and give a 3-minute presentation on their thoughts about the reading.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine reading Das Kapital by Marx as a 24-year-old and then pretending that you have something profound and interesting to say? And so what I would do is I would learn who I should sit next to because I basically I'm not sitting next to this person because I don't want to sound like an idiot. So I would sit next to the person who I was like, yeah, we're going to sound equally not as quite as masterful. But basically my thing was I would always bring up a contemporary issue that was similar or relevant to what the reading said and say, I wonder what Marx would think of that.
Anyone who knows me or who's been in class with me knows that Amber can take a specific part of the text or an analogy, a theory, and relate it to, it's kind of like the society is a working machine, and then the individual parts, they need to work together, but then they also have this. So what we're trying to really say with the division of labor is, and everyone always, my friends, they would always kind of just say there goes Amber.
The second thing is self-care, okay? It is not a joke out here. Craziness in the world, sensations of danger, feeling like you're living in a world where you don't necessarily fit in, feeling overwhelmed by a process. I mean, there's a million ways that grad school can just take it out of you. I know more than one person who has left grad school or took a leave of absence because grad school gets on you. You have to learn strategies to take care of yourself as a human being.
Yeah, so on that note, I remember asking my advisor after learning of my acceptance what I should do in the summer before grad school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, like, what books should I read? What software should I have? What materials? One thing that I wish I knew was that the best way to prepare ourselves going into grad school is to really fortify our self-care routines.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what to do when the pressure is on? Do you know how to show yourself self-compassion in place of judgment? Do you know how to get into the groove of healthy routines so that when the work piles up, you can make space for those things and not feel like, oh, things are really getting heavy, I need to cut away from myself? Because I find, Sonita, that whenever there's a lot of pressure, the one area that I always feel like I can take a little bit away from
is
self-care, right? So
I don't need that nap.
Yeah, I don't need a nap. I don't need to get groceries.
I just need more coffee.
Yeah, I don't need to exercise.
I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to go to therapy. I'm too busy.
Yeah. It's always the first area that we start taking away from first. We just start like jettisoning energy and like taking it out of that boat, and then what do we have left to go when we really needed to take care of ourselves?
We had a great conversation once about like, if you worked harder to get something, does that mean you deserve it more? Right? Like, if it took more out of you, does it mean you deserve it more than somebody else? So if by the end of my PhD, I'm absolutely exhausted, I'm unhappy, I'm depressed, I deserve it more than her because she was able to deal with the ups and downs with a good self-care routine.
And what we said around that whole discussion is we don't have to suffer.
No, you
in
don't
order
have to suffer.
to be happy.
No.
You don't have to suffer in order to be happy.
But the first step that it takes is understanding that there are tools called self-care. And sometimes that can look like Netflix for a certain period of time. But usually it's really fulfilling your needs, be it sleeping, eating, having a chat with friends, or going out, dancing, whatever. Cooking for yourself, yoga, meditation, exercise. What are other examples? Reading for pleasure, not academic books. That was one thing I got back. I was like, I'm taking this shit back.
So for me, I have a favorite spot in the city. A bike to this place. It's a tree by a river, and I can watch the people going down, like in their crew boats. And I can sit under that tree for hours.
Yeah.
I can either do nothing, or I can journal, or I can read, or I can eat and take a nap. But that's one of the ways that I take care of myself, going to that tree and just really allowing myself to be. Start my day out with hot lemon water, much like this one, if you watch her day in the life video.
Morning routine video.
Yeah.
Focus on your journey. I think academia, like many other sectors of competition in society, it breeds a sense of individualism and perfection and better than over than. You want to be the best. You want to get the most accolades. You want to get the most publications. You want to get the best recommendations, the most awards. If you focus on comparing yourself to other people, you're not focusing on your own journey. Failure is part of every process of learning. Understand that there will be things that are difficult and you might not do as well as you had hoped, be it on an assignment, on actually conducting your research, anything, a paper. When you get reviewer comments back, it's okay to not do well all the time. It's a process. Just be like that little baby that's trying to learn how to walk. They don't care, they just keep getting back up.
Yeah, and so Nita said celebrate. Also have ways of monitoring your own progress that is independent of all these external markers. So know when you can pat yourself in the back or when you're really going forward. And also know what this means for you. I think that's something that's been really key for both Sonita and myself in kind of this, we both kind of had like a second wind of grad school, like a second life. And I think what's kept us going,
That's so true.
it's true,
It
right?
is true.
Because the first life, so if we think about grad school as happening in kind of two phases, the first one is what we think it's going to be and maybe who we thought we were going to impress and what we thought we were going to do by being here. And then there comes a point at which that's not enough to carry you through to the finish. And there needs to be something that really comes from inside of you that makes it worth something for you. Like, whatever your grad school degree is plugged into a process that is meaningful in your own life, that's independent of the university, independent of the degree, independent of your department. And I know for Sonita, her research is meaningful to her.
I love it.
I know for me, when I think about the work that I'm doing, I'm thinking about the people that I can't wait to interact with as I do this work. So it has to mean something for you and really let that carry you on through to the end. And it might be different than what you thought it meant.
And it's yours. It's your journey. It's believe in the beauty and the power of your own dreams and your possibility. So we
started together.
Between us, we have 8 years. Between us.
Never mind that they overlap.
We have 8 years of graduate school experience, separate experiences, but also overlapping in many ways. So just take this from our heart to yours, and you can succeed in whatever. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'm sure Amber would answer any questions. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Thank you.
How does it go?
I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta get a PhD.
Yeah.
I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we could hook up and we could be friends. I always know more words than she does.
Yeah, you're so real. Actually, I would also say guard your heart. Okay, I'm not guarding. I'm not. Hey. Come on. Give me a little credit here. Okay, I'm with him. Okay.
Amber, I say give your heart. That's the second time we called a hippie in the same day.
Nope. So what? We get drunk. She doesn't get drunk.
So what? We drink juice.
Sleep. We're just having fun, just like it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free. Carefree Black Girls 2014. Ding.
I love how it's just turning into profiling for the camera.
Yes, I do know Kerry Washington.
Dun, dun, dun. Planes crash. Records gets like,
You might be wondering, where do we find ourselves here?
What was this video supposed to be about?
To love. Love is a condition so powerful. It may be that which holds the stars in the firmament.
That's what I feel in my heart.